Evan.
CBS 6 This Morning starts now.
Well, hi there. We're coming up on 6 o'clock. Good morning. Welcome to CBS 6 This Morning, and happy Friday to you. I'm Rob Cardwell.
And I'm Reba Hollingsworth. We have plenty of headlines to get you started here at 6 on this July 10th. But first, let's get a check on your weekend forecast. We got Mike in the house with us this morning. Hi, Mike.
Hey, guys. I always love being here on a Friday to embark the weekend.
Why?
Because, it's better than Monday.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Out of all the days during the week, Friday is the most, Friday. Hey, it's 5:59. Look at that. The sun right over the horizon in Richmond. Sunrise was just a couple minutes ago. We have a mostly clear sky outside now, and temperatures a few spots in the 60s, a lot of low and mid 70s elsewhere. Just a couple scattered clouds, especially west of I-95. We had a big cluster of showers and thunderstorms last evening that went through the northern neck and middle peninsula. Those are gone, but it did leave down some heavy rainfall amounts. In fact, some sections north of I-64 got anywhere from about 1 to 4 inches of rain. And up north of Fredericksburg and parts of Stafford County, they got 5 to 6 inches of rain, while other areas didn't see a drop. More scattered storms today. They won't hit everyone, but highs will be a little bit hotter than yesterday and still kind of muggy, just not quite as muggy as yesterday. High of 94 feels like temp between about 95 and 100 degrees, and a 40% chance of storms. Best chance of storms today between about 3 and 8 o'clock. Any storm that pops up could have some strong wind gusts who have a marginal risk of severe weather. We're watching a cold front to the north. That's going to bring in some slightly cooler, less humid air. We'll talk about when that arrives in our 7-day forecast coming up. Rob.
All right, thanks. Today, a suspect Richmond police in February's deadly Shaco Bottom mass shooting is due in court.
The incident left a Petersburg woman and a Henrico man dead and wounded 7 others. Brendan King is live with what we know about this case. Brendan.
Richmond police say they arrested and charged 3 shooters in connection to this mass shooting back in February. Today, Shaquan Morris will appear here at the John Marshall Courthouse ahead of his trial next week. But first, listen to what Richmond's Police Chief Rick Edwards said at a press conference back in March.
These are people that brought guns to a social event, found themselves in a situation, and made terrible decisions that cost 2 people their lives and wounded other people.
The accused on your screen, 22-year-old Shaquan Morris, 25-year-old Dravon Jackson Brown, and 26-year-old Carlos Johnson Jr. also involved, all facing first-degree murder. Court documents reveal Morris is accused of killing Jackson Brown's brother Dominic and was not involved in the initial shooting or any group that was involved, but surveillance video shows he fired into the crowd. City leaders say the violence was fueled by alcohol, a street fight, and easy access to guns. And Chief Rick Edwards met with Shaco Bottom business owners after the shooting.
We're going to try it this year and see if it works, and that is to have first precinct officers provide security for Shaco. One of the ways we were able to successfully figure out and solve the case and the Shaco mass shooting was the fact of where it occurred. We have technology there.
Morris's court appearance at 9 o'clock this morning, again here at the John Marshall Courthouse, is a pretrial hearing. His trial is scheduled for next week. It's a 2-day trial. In our next half hour, you'll hear how Richmond's mayor, Dr. Danny Avula, responded after the mass shooting and his message to the city. That's all ahead in about 30 minutes.
Brendan King reporting for us. Thank you. And while that mass shooting has stayed in the minds of many for months, Richmond police are actually seeing a historic drop in murders.
Instead, Police Chief Rick Edwards says he is worried about a different trend. Accidental shootings are on the rise. Caroline Coburn is live with what Chief Edwards is asking gun owners to do. Caroline.
Rob, Reba, good morning. Richmond recorded 22 homicides at the midpoint of this year. The 10-year average is 29. So this is actually the lowest number we've seen in 10 years since 2015. At the same time, we've also seen a decline in commercial robberies and rapes. Now, Chief Edwards is attributing those numbers to coordination between police, local agencies, and community organizations. But we are seeing a rise in aggravated domestic assaults in the city and a growing number of accidental and self-inflicted shootings involving firearms. The chief is urging gun owners to practice safe firearms storage and handling, noting that the department has distributed 619 gun safes to Richmonders since 2023. But I want you to take a listen to what the chief says he believes has made a big difference in the homicide numbers we're seeing.
You know, when I used to look at the old homicides that took place when Richmond was the murder capital of the country, we have a murder book upstairs that talks about murders in the 90s, and you would see a name on there on Tuesday as a suspect, And before he could be arrested on Thursday, he's the next victim. And we're obsessed with that. So we talk about it as a patrol level. We talk about it with our community members who share information with us about the beefs and the threatened retaliation. And we work really diligently on avoiding that next shooting by stopping it in its tracks.
RPD also highlighted Operation Safe Summer during that briefing, noting that since it launched on May 22nd, they've seen 81 felony arrests, 39 misdemeanor arrests, and 91 illegal firearms seized. Stay with us. Coming up at 6:30, I'm going to share what Chief Edwards says is Richmond's #1 crime and what they're doing to stop it. Rob Reba.
All right, thanks, Caroline. New here at 6, a Virginia county is pausing a proposed data center project over concerns about a historic burial ground. Stafford County leaders voted to suspend the 99-acre project due to a 200-year-old cemetery reportedly tied to enslaved people. The developer must now hire an archaeological consultant. County officials will wait for those findings before deciding how the project moves forward. Stafford has already approved 5 data centers with more in the pipeline.
Time for a check on traffic here at 5 minutes after the hour. Here's Kristen.
All right, let's take a look. Chesterfield into Richmond, and just browsing the 511 cameras again back to Bells Road. We're seeing that north right shoulder that's blocked just before the exit ramp to Bells Road, mile marker 69. Moments ago, we were seeing another vehicle there that was pulled off to the side of the roadway, so just some activity. Your southbound commute, you can also see a work vehicle that's here. This is off to the south right side of the roadway as well. So Bells Road onto 95 southbound, this activity will be here. I'll keep an eye on that. Reported as a crash along Route 1 at Cortlandt Street. If you're looking at real-time traffic along Route 1, at least we are in green at that intersection. Flashing lights, of course, being on scene, moving over and giving them enough space to work and clear things up. Here are your drive times along Route 288. Looking good, a 10-minute drive. Northbound Route 288, leaving Route 60, Midlothian Turnpike, making your way across the bridge up to the ramp at Interstate 64, heading into Goochland, or making your way into Henrico's West End. As drivers head into another summer weekend, here's a look at what you will pay on your way to maybe the beach or the pool. Gas in Richmond is averaging $3.81 this morning, and that's according to AAA. That's a bit higher than the state average of $3.76, which is a few cents higher than it was yesterday. Rob?
Thank you, Kristen. Well, from the roadways to the runway now, Richmond International Airport is flying high after winning a major global award. The Air Transport Research Society just named RIC the most efficient airport in North America for under 5 million passengers.
Well, that comes as Virginia is climbing back up the list of the best states for business. Virginia sits just behind Ohio and North Carolina. CNBC scores states on more than 100 metrics. Virginia scored particularly high marks for infrastructure this year. Virginia dropped to number 4 last year after holding the top spot in 2024. Now, Virginia may be winning praise for its business climate, but one local school district is still trying to balance the books. Richmond Public Schools faces a nearly $9 million funding shortfall. Now, district leaders are asking the city council for help. Superintendent Jason Camera says the state provided less than expected. To make up the difference, the district may have to increase class sizes and cut annual substitute teachers. The shortfall also means teachers will not get their promised 4% pay raise.
We're trying to avoid any reductions of pay, trying to avoid layoffs, trying to avoid furloughs.
School leaders suggested using real estate tax revenue to cover the gap. They will meet with the city council again on July 23rd to discuss solutions.
Hey, we want to remind you that you can have a say in the transformation of Gilpin Court in Richmond. There are plans to build 56 new apartments in the Jackson Ward area. The $24 million project will sit near First and Charity Streets. You can vote on the preferred exterior design for the Build First Project 1 on rrha.org. Construction expected to start early next year. And while those developers are planning new places to live, another decision could affect the cost of living itself. Lieutenant Governor Ghazala Hashmi wants more answers before a massive energy merger impacts your electric bill. She's asking state regulators to require more information from Dominion Energy and NextEra. Those are the two companies planning a merger that will create the largest energy company in the country. Hashmi wants the company to answer 64 questions instead of the standard 28.
Know that electric costs are rising. The monthly electric bill is something that many families are having challenges in paying. And if this acquisition means increased costs for our families, that's my top line concern.
Dominion previously promised a $10 monthly bill credit for 2 years if the deal closes. Well, the company expects to file its formal merger application in the next few months.
As we head into the weekend, cleanup from last Friday's train derailment is still continuing today. CSX crews are removing the 3 train cars that fell into the canal. Crews say they finished repairs to the damaged track earlier this week. All parking decks and lots are open today. Cleanup is expected to last through the weekend.
Also today, a local group is celebrating the end of its summer program with a very special trip. The annual Black Girl Wrap-Up celebration is happening at noon at the John Marshall Hotel. That's an event that serves as a send-off for the Her Journey Home delegation. And that group of girls is traveling to Ghana.
Yeah, today's celebration includes performances and reflections from the girls about their summer experiences. Organizers say it is a chance for families to talk about the impact of the summer program. Wish them all the best.
Coming up on 10 minutes after the hour, here's Mike.
Hey guys, well, it's going to be a little bit hotter today. Highs in the low and mid 90s, and we'll have some scattered storms around. Heading down the beach this weekend, we'll have some scattered storms there as well, especially tomorrow. High of 87, waves will be 1 to 3 feet across the weekend. Water temperatures mid to upper 70s, and up in the mountains, a good chance of storms for tomorrow. High of 81. Look at that Sunday. They may not get out of the upper 70s there as it turns less humid. Full 7-day forecast is up in just a few moments. Time now for another window roll picture at 6:10. And this one's from Cindy Woodcock. And it's a kitty picture. Look at that. And because I'm not a horrible person, big stretch. If you have a picture that you want to send to us, you can email pics@WTVR.com, or you can use the CBS 6 Weather Authority app. It's law. Dog or cat in that position, you have to say big stretch.
Humans too, my goodness. That's me in the AC right now, right? Well, temperatures inside a Richmond post office hitting 90 degrees. Now employees say they are on the verge of walking out. We share the voice of one frustrated worker.
And this 7-year-old boy in England survived a major medical emergency, and he's already back on the soccer field. His incredible road to recovery next.
You are watching CBS 6 this morning.
Time for a look at today's top stories. Tensions between the U.S. and Iran are escalating after a series of new attacks. The Pentagon says American forces hit about 170 Iranian targets. President Trump calls the strikes retribution after Iran attacked 3 commercial ships in the Strait of Hormuz. Early today, Supreme Leader Ayatollah Khamenei was laid to rest in his hometown. This morning, there's a major shakeup at the federal agency that helps oversee election administration. President Trump is firing the leadership of the Election Assistance Commission. The commission was created by Congress to help with voting equipment, certification, and security. U.S. home prices just hit an all-time high. The median price for an existing home is now more than $440,000. And meanwhile, a bipartisan bill meant to lower housing costs is stalled in Washington. President Trump refuses to sign the legislation until Congress passes a separate elections bill.
Housing costs and challenges here in Central Virginia are in the spotlight today. The U.S. Secretary of Housing and Urban Development is going to be in Central Virginia focusing on housing affordability. Scott Turner will stop by active developments throughout the Henrico County, and then there will be a roundtable discussion with local leaders to discuss housing supply, workforce development, and challenges that homebuyers are facing.
Heat is also in the spotlight today. Postal workers at the Richmond Central location say they are sweltering in the summer heat because the air conditioning unit inside the building is broken. One worker tells us temperatures have climbed into the 90s. Employees are even working with the lights off to try and stay cool. One worker says the heat is creating unsafe conditions.
It has been overwhelming. Maybe like a month ago, it was so hot in there, I almost passed out. Like they had to run and give me water.
The USPS spokesperson says contractors are working to fix a complex issue with the system. They have placed fans and chillers throughout the building in the meantime.
And let's find out how hot it's going to get today. Here's Mike.
Hey guys, well, to add insult to injury, past couple days there hasn't been much of a breeze and it's been really muggy, so even opening up the windows doesn't really help. Today a few degrees hotter than it was yesterday, a high 94 with some scattered thunderstorms, and then temperatures go down a little bit the next couple days, around 90 tomorrow and then 85 on Sunday. And on Sunday we'll see a drop in the humidity. There's the lovely sunrise out at the airport this morning, and our normal high for today is 90 degrees, so we'll be at or above that across the metro. Sun will set tonight at 8:32. Saw a little bit of rain in Richmond yesterday. We saw a lot of rain in the northern neck and middle peninsula with those storms late last afternoon and last evening. Upper 60s to low and mid 70s across the region right now. We are going to have more scattered storms around today and tomorrow, with a higher chance tomorrow afternoon versus today. And due to the fact that it's still going to be kind of humid to muggy, some localized flooding is possible with heavy downpours in some of these storms. And there's a marginal risk that's level 1 out of 5 for severe storms both today and tomorrow. Not a huge widespread thing, but a few of these storms will tap into that storm and energy that's in the atmosphere, and that could put down some strong wind gusts. Today, low and mid 90s for much of the area, and then tomorrow a few degrees cooler, mid and upper 80s to low 90s. And then on Sunday, that'll be the most comfortable day out of the next 3 if you're not a fan of heat and humidity, low and mid 80s, and it will turn less humid during the day. We'll have a good chance for at least a few showers and thunderstorms late this afternoon into this evening, and those will kind of fade away after sunset. Might get a pop-up storm or two way to the west by about noon, 1 o'clock. That better chance across the metro between about 3 and 8 o'clock today. Those storms will pass on by, and then for tomorrow we'll have a cloud-sun mix and another chance for scattered showers and thunderstorms in the afternoon and evening as a cold front comes through, and some of those showers will begin to press farther southward on Sunday. You will definitely notice a drop in the humidity Sunday into Monday, and it'll be cooler as well. Highs in the low and mid 80s, overnight lows in the 60s. In fact, Tuesday morning may have some spots to the far north and west of Richmond that could dip down in the upper 50s, but then we're back up to near 90 on Tuesday, and it turns increasingly hotter and more humid for the second half of next week. 95 Wednesday, 96 Thursday, and will likely be in the upper 90s on Friday. Reba.
All right, thanks, Mike. The Henrico Sports and Event Center is hosting its second annual Next Pro basketball event this weekekend.
Yeah, it's a tournament big enough to draw Indiana Pacers forward Tyrese Halliburton. He was there Thursday coaching one of the teams. Last year's event had over $10 million worth of economic impact for our area. Over 400 teams will play in Henrico and at the Downtown Convention Center through Sunday, with coaches from dozens of NCAA teams watching.
I've been here for about an hour. I've already seen coaches from Auburn, Alabama, Duke, UNC, and then locally we have Richmond here as well. So you just multiply that from a national level. I think they've got 200 college coaches registered from D1 all the way down to D3 in AIA. And it's not just high school athletes as well. They've got 4 JUCO teams as well here competing as well.
Yeah, the excitement of the World Cup continues with the quarterfinals.
France and Morocco clashing yesterday for a chance to move on to the next round. And
for your positive start to your day, a 7-year-old soccer fan in England is back on his feet after surviving a childhood stroke.
Yeah, Louis Clark here. He suffered a stroke in February of last year, 7 years old. He lost his ability to walk and talk after surgery. His father hoping Louis would one day just be able to stand on his own and maybe pass the soccer ball again. Incredibly, 4 months later, Louis did exactly that at a charity match held in his honor.
I am a superhero. Well, yeah. Obviously, I survived the stroke.
I think it's the fact that a 7-year-old who had a stroke taught me more about life than anybody else.
You are a superhero, Louis. Mm-hmm. Doctors who treated Louis say his recovery is nothing less than stunning. As for the future, Louis' dad says he hopes his son might one day represent England as a professional soccer player.
Next, a chase you have to see while police are driving around the T.
Time now 6:23, hitting the roadways. Camera views here from 511. Let's show you what it looks like in Hanover. Interstate 95 northbound, headlights moving towards us, coming up from Lewistown Road to the Ashland exit. In the southbound direction, Hanover to Henrico this time of the morning, looking good. 95 Arthur Ashe Boulevard, so just south of the Bryan Park interchange, making your way downtown, following those vehicles that are coming towards us. The headlights, making your way down towards maybe the VCU exit, Belvedere Street. 95 at Bells Road. So our bottom 2 cameras camera views, I am keeping an eye on this off to the north right shoulder, Bells Road, mile marker 69, just before the exit ramp here. So coming up from Chippenham Parkway, still keeping an eye on that vehicle off to the north right shoulder. 3 travel lanes are open. Again in Colonial Heights to Chesterfield. So we are on the move 95 northbound. And again, same thing off to the right side of the roadway. We have a vehicle, looks like in the grassy area. At one point earlier this morning reported as a crash, now downgraded to a broken down vehicle. Reba.
All right, thanks, Kristen. New here at 6, a runway driver is in custody after crashing into a Virginia State Police cruiser.
Yeah, troopers say the driver was going north in the southbound lanes last night out of Prince William County. The suspect hit the trooper and another car on Interstate 395 in Fairfax County. Both the driver and the trooper went to the hospital to be checked out.
And we have video of a speedy police chase going right through an Ohio golf course.
Take a look. The driver of that silver van wanted for attempted murder. The chase ended when the van crashed into a patrol car. A trooper escaped that cruiser just seconds before the crash, too. Police arrested the suspect after he tried to run away.
Wow.
Well, still ahead, did Virginia accidentally legalize marijuana sales a year early? The last-minute clarification that may have prevented a legal mess across the Commonwealth.
Good morning, I'm Brendan King, live in Richmond. An update to the mass shooting from February in Shockoe Bottom that killed 2 people and injured 7 others. One of the accused shooters will appear in court this morning. I'll have the latest just ahead.
Richmond police take a look at crime in the city, the trends that have been showing up, and the factors that could be contributing.
An iconic festival returns today. Find out the many forms you'll find in tomatoes.
CBS 6 This Morning starts now.
Hey, we're coming up on 6:30. Thanks for staying with us on this Friday, July 10th. I'm Rob Cardwell.
And I'm Reba Hollingsworth. Before we get to Kristen's traffic and your news of the day, we want to send it over to Mike. We'll look at your forecast.
Hey guys, well on this Friday, it's still pretty warm and humid outside right now. We have generally clear to mostly clear skies outside. Temperatures are currently in the upper 60s and low 70s, although the airport's up to 75 right now versus this time yesterday. A lot of spots pretty close to, if not a little bit cooler than this point yesterday, especially west of I-95. Today we're heading up to a little bit above 90 degrees, so a little bit hotter than yesterday and still pretty muggy, just a tiny bit less humid than yesterday. Then this evening, temperatures will drop down through the 80s and the 70s. Might have a pop-up storm or two, mostly west of I-95 by about noon, 1 or 2 o'clock. Better chance of at least a few scattered storms in the metro between about 3 and 8 p.m. And any of those storms that do pop up may have some damaging wind gusts, so the entire viewing area is under a marginal risk. That's level 1 out of 5 for severe storms for those strong wind gusts. Again, not a high chance of storms. It's just that the ones that pop up may have some gusty winds and also a lot of lightning and some heavy rain. Still going to be a little bit hot for tomorrow, but we are tracking actually a drop in the heat and humidity. We'll talk more about that in our 7-day forecast coming up. But if you're getting ready to go out the door, let's look at your weather. Let's see how the roads are doing with Kristen.
All right, downtown looks good. Thanks, Mike. This is Interstate 95, Interstate 64, the interchange, and 95 northbound. You can see the vehicles coming towards us. That right side of the roadway there, taking you on the ramp, mile marker and exit 75, either down towards 7th Street or maybe you're heading into Henrico's East End. This would take you along the Shockoe Valley Bridge. 95 southbound looking good. Folks coming off the bridge or downtown, making the merge over to the left side of the roadway. 95 southbound heading down towards maybe Broad Street. A crash I'm keeping an eye on still along Route 1 at Cortlandt Street. Route 1 in either direction here, north or southbound, still looking to be in green. Some of those secondaries showing up green, changing over to yellow. Slight tap of the brakes in those areas. Rob and Reba will be talking about the Hanover Tomato Festival in just a moment, but this is some traffic information you need to know about. It is at Pole Green Park in Mechanicsville, so heavy traffic along Pole Green Road. Tonight's hours, 5 p.m. to 9 p.m. Then the festival will be open again tomorrow morning, 9 a.m. until 1 o'clock in the afternoon. Heavy traffic again expected. Pole Green Road between Interstate 295 and Walnut Grove Road. Event staff will be there to help guide you to the parking area. Parking will be in the back of the park. Rob?
All right, thanks. 4 months and 3 weeks ago, a barrage of gunfire in Shockoe Bottom left 2 people dead and several others wounded.
Now, one of the men accused of pulling the trigger is set to appear in court today. Our Richmond reporter Brendan King joins us live from the courthouse with a preview. Brendan.
City leaders say the violence back on February 21st was fueled by three things: alcohol, a street fight, and easy access to guns. At a press conference back in March, Richmond Police Chief Rick Edwards announced they arrested 3 shooters.
We do believe other people had firearms and were discharging them, but we do believe we have held accountable those that were responsible for the deaths.
Well, the accused on your screen, 22-year-old Shaquan Morris, is scheduled in court today. 25-year-old Dravon Jackson Brown and 26-year-old Carlos Johnson Jr. were all charged with first-degree murder. Court documents reveal Morris is accused of killing Jackson Brown's brother, Dominic, and was not involved in the initial shooting or any group that was involved, but the police say surveillance video shows he did fire into the crowd.
This needs to stop. Right? We need this to be a place where people can enjoy themselves, where people can connect to other people in community and do so without ending lives needlessly. And so we just need to leave the guns at home.
So what's next? Morris's court appearance at 9 o'clock here at the John Marshall Courthouse this morning is a pretrial hearing. His 2-day trial is scheduled for next week. I will be inside the courtroom today. I'll have the latest on the news at noon. In Richmond, I'm Brendan King, CBS 6 News.
Thank you, Brendan. 4 people now face first-degree murder charges in a Caroline County double homicide.
Investigators used DNA to identify the second victim as 56-year-old Helen Marie Pullen Banks. Banks was a mother of 5 and a grandmother of 6. She was living in the Richmond area at the time of her disappearance. Investigators say the suspects brought her to Caroline County and killed her. Her remains were found about 5 miles away from the first victim. Our John Burkett spoke to her mother.
I'm very upset over that because, yeah, nobody should be treated or endure anything like that, you know. I just feel like no life should be taken in that manner.
Well, the first victim was 18-year-old Jaden McComber here. Deputies believe that McComber was robbed and killed after Banks. The 4 suspects were already charged in his death, and now their charges have been upgraded to first-degree murder for both killings.
A local sheriff's lieutenant is warning that someone could be killed at a Goochland County youth psychiatric facility.
Yeah, this comes after multiple teenagers escaped from the Hallmark Youth Care over the weekend. An email from the Goochland County Sheriff's Office detailing 3 dangerous incidents on Sunday and Monday. In one case, 20 girls escaped after getting a master key, and in another incident, boys overpowered a staff member and assaulted workers. Later, girls destroyed a nurse's station, while one was reportedly armed with a possible shank. A mother of one of the escaped teens says her daughter ran away because she felt unsafe there.
Our kids are not safe in these places at all. My daughter is in more danger and in more harm being in these places than she is at home.
Hallmark Youth Care says it is taking immediate steps to improve safety and stabilize the environment. The State Department of Behavioral Health is actively investigating the facility. Richmond police say they actually have a bit of encouraging news when it comes to crime in the city. Overall violence, they say, is plummeting.
Now, on the other hand, theft is becoming a major concern. Caroline Colburn joins us live to take a deeper look at some of those numbers. Good morning, Caroline.
Well, good morning, Rob and Reba. According to RPD, most of the major crimes in the city have gone down. That includes commercial robberies, rapes, and most importantly, homicides. During a news briefing, Chief Rick Edwards explained Richmond recorded 22 homicides at the midpoint of this year. The 10-year average is 29, so this is the lowest number since 2015. The department has worked hard to reduce the number of retaliatory shootings. Now, despite homicides being down, aggravated domestic assaults doubled compared to last year, rising from 56 to 112. But police are attributing much of that increase to changes in state law and reporting standards that broadened how domestic violence incidents are categorized. And Richmond's #1 crime is shoplifting, with more than half of those incidents occurring at Virginia ABC stores.
I've seen other cities where you see people walking with trash bags in the grocery stores and the drugstores and stealing. We're going to do everything we can to avoid that in our city. This is the #1 crime in Richmond. A lot of people don't think it's the most important one, but it's something that we care about. If the police department and the community is not working together to solve these crimes, then these businesses will leave neighborhoods.
Now, Edwards also mentioned the city has seen a slight decline in traffic fatalities, and he ended the briefing noting the department is still experiencing a staffing shortage, and he's encouraging anyone interested to apply to become an officer. Back to you guys.
All right, thanks, Caroline. Did the passage of Virginia's new marijuana law allowing for its sale next year accidentally repeal the ban on possession by minors and even allow for its sale this year? Williamsburg Commonwealth's attorney Nate Green says no date was written into the repeal of current laws on minors and distribution. So while the marijuana marketplace would start next year, the repeal could take effect immediately. But the bills say that the new law did not repeal the prohibition on possession by minors, nor allow for the sale of marijuana right now. Green later said the state panel clarified the ambiguity, saying the chair of Virginia's Code Commission recognized that the original language was unclear and clarified this obvious error. So it now appears there will be no need for the General Assembly to reconvene, and that current law banning the distribution of marijuana and its sale to anyone under 21 remains in effect. Happening today, the 40th annual Hanover Tomato Festival kicks off. The free event celebrates one of Hanover County's best-known agricultural traditions.
That brings nearly 100 vendors and 2 stages of live entertainment to Pole Green Park. You can try some unique foods, too. Have you ever had tomato basil cupcakes? How about a lobster BLT?
Ooh, I'll try it. There are also tomato theme contests with chances to win prizes. The festival runs tonight from 5 to 9. It continues tomorrow from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. Admission and parking are free, and you can bring your pets as long as they are on a leash.
Only 2 things money can't buy. That's true love and homegrown tomatoes.
Who said that?
Oh,
Willie Nelson?
I thought it was your grandmother.
Oh, my granny said that, yeah. But
well,
it's from a song, yeah. But my granny used to say that. Only 2 things money can't buy, true love and homegrown tomatoes.
I swear I thought that was Willie Nelson, but wasn't sure. Hey, if you're going to the festival tonight, we can't rule out a passing shower or thunderstorm. It's about a 40% chance. It will be hot and humid today. And if you're going out and about during the day today, make sure you wear sunscreen. The UV index is very high, a 9, which is a 15 to 20 minute burn. And if you're going down the river, the water temperatures are in the 80s now, and the water level just under 3.5 feet at the Westham location. Time now for our final Window World picture of the week at 6:39. And this is called Having My Morning Coffee with a Friend by Vanessa Martin. Look at that lovely shot of the squirrel there. If you have a picture, you can do what Vanessa did. You can either email us at pics@wtvr.com or use the CBS 6 Weather Authority app.
You know, there was a time before selfies, believe it or not, and Elvis left his mark with a picture of a kiss in a Richmond stairwell. 70 years later, the spot still looks frozen in time. More on that story next.
"70 years ago this summer, rock and roll royalty paid a visit to Richmond and left his mark in black and white.
In his latest preview of I Have a Story, Greg McQuaid shares the story of a smooch in a stairway that became one of the most talked about images in music history. On June 30th, 1956, this guy, Elvis Presley, performed at the Altria Theater. Back then it was known as the Mosque. And during a break from singing, the man who would become known as the king of rock and roll and Barbara Gray from South Carolina were photographed in a stairwell backstage at the Mosque, kissing and hugging.
The series of famous images was taken by Alfred Weatherheimer, who was hired to follow the relatively unknown singer while on tour. Barbara's identity remained a mystery for 55 years.
And today, 7 decades later, Elvis fans can rejoice knowing that stairwell where the famous kiss photo was taken hasn't changed at all.
We're in the hallway, the famous hallway of the kiss. I just assumed this space to look different. You know, 70 years later, it's going to look a little different, and it did not. It looked like I was walking back into time.
That moment happened here, and Alfred Wertheimer captured it for us. This brief moment of light and shadow that would have, had he not been there to take advantage of it, it would never have been recorded.
Well, coming up on Greg McQuaid's I Have a Story, revisiting the King's Kodak moment sealed with the kiss in Richmond 70 years later. See Greg's story tonight on the CBS 6 News.
That's going to be fascinating.
Very cool.
Yes.
Very cool. All right, let's take a look outside. We're in Chesterfield, Robin Reba, Interstate 95 northbound, Ruffin Mill Road, Woods Edge Road. We're near that area, so about mile marker 5859. The north right shoulder closed here, and I don't see VDOT just yet with any flashing lights, but in a moment, if they're arriving, try to move over to that center lane and left lane, of course, if you can, saving the far right side of the roadway so crews can wrap things up. Entrance and exit ramps will remain open at Ruffin Mill Road, Woods Edge Road. Let's take a look at this crash. Been on the board for just a little while as crews are wrapping things up along Route 1 and Cortlandt Street. We're just south of Bells Road. Real-time traffic in either direction still showing up as green there along Route 1. We have an update to the construction activities that were supposed to be taking place tomorrow along Powhite Parkway in both directions. A triple left lane closure between Forest Hill and the bridge. We've seen this work being done for a few months now. This will now be taking place, rescheduled for next Saturday. That's July 18th. It's most of the day, 7:30 a.m. until 11 p.m. So of course we'll have that updated. You could use Boulevard Bridge, you could use the Huguenot Bridge or Interstate 95, the James River Bridge as a way around. Rob?
Thanks. A large wildfire is burning through parts of Spain's southern coast, already killing at least 12 people.
Take a look at this fire right here. Many have been forced to leave their homes. More than 100 crews are battling those flames today. The region has been under high temperature warnings all week.
Yeah, not only hot here, Mike, but across Europe as well.
Yeah, guys, they have not had a great late spring, early summer there. In fact, check out highs across Europe today. Spain especially near above 100, and a lot of France and Italy between about 95 and 100 degrees. And there are a lot of areas in this part of the world that don't have air conditioning, at least widespread. So they are dealing with yet another heat wave. For us, it is going to be kind of toasty again today. We'll have highs in the low to possibly mid 90s. Right now it's 75 degrees. No wind to speak of. The dew point's right around 70s. So that's a threshold where it's kind of muggy. Yesterday dew points were in the mid to upper 70s. They're going to kind of settle upper 60s and low 70s today. So a tiny bit less muggy than yesterday, but still pretty humid. Temperatures right now, we have a few spots that have been in the upper 60s, but a lot of the metro now between about 70 and 75 degrees. And for our day today, a cloud sun mix, more clouds this afternoon. High temperatures low and mid 90s. A few pop-up thunderstorms possible out by I-81 by about noon, 1 o'clock. Better chance across our viewing area between about 3 and 8 p.m. today. These storms may put down some heavy downpours and have some localized flooding, a lot of lightning with those as well. Those move on out later this evening, and then for tomorrow we'll have a cloud sun mix. Could have a couple showers in southeastern Virginia in the morning, and then during the afternoon mid 80s to low 90s with more scattered showers and thunderstorms coming through the area. Both today and tomorrow, pretty much most of the CBS 6 viewing area is under a marginal risk. That's level 1 out of 5 for strong to severe storms in the form of some damaging wind gusts. And check out what's going to happen coming up. Pretty humid to muggy today and tomorrow. Cold front comes through, turns less humid on Sunday, and it's going to be really nice humidity-wise going into Monday, but then it will turn more muggy again later next week. 94 today, 90 tomorrow, turning less humid Sunday, a high of 85 with a lower chance of rain, and then 86 on Monday. We might have a few upper 50s north and west Tuesday morning, but then we're back to 90 Tuesday and mid to upper 90s Wednesday and Thursday. Reba?
Well, Mike is talking about it. You may have noticed it has just been a bit hot and humid these past few weeks. So why not join us for a nice glass of lemonade next Friday, a week from today, when we team up with Anthem Lemonade outside of our West Broad Street studio to help fight childhood cancer.
Yeah, each cup purchased benefits the Children's Hospital of Richmond at VCU and their patients. You can just scan that QR code on your screen to learn more or to make a donation online.
Next, a shocking alleged confession, the text, the note under a keyboard, and the bullets engraved with messages in the murder of conservative activist Charlie Kirk.
Well, a multi-day hearing continues in the case of Tyler Robinson. Robinson is accused of shooting and killing conservative activist Charlie Kirk as he was speaking at Utah Valley University last September.
He is facing charges including aggravated murder. Reed Binion reports.
My name is Lance Twiggs.
The former roommate of the man accused of killing conservative activist Charlie Kirk appearing in a videotaped statement played in court Thursday during a hearing to determine if Tyler Robinson should go to trial for allegedly shooting and killing Kirk. Lance Twiggs describing the two's relationship.
I think we started dating 2 or 3 months after he moved in.
Twiggs said the day after Kirk's shooting, Robinson said he wished he hadn't done it. Prosecutors also showed what they said was a text conversation between Robinson and Twiggs late at night on September 10th, 2025, the day Kirk was killed.
This would have been from Tyler. It says, drop what you're doing, look under your keyboard.
In charging documents, investigators previously referred to a handwritten note under the keyboard that read, quote, I had the opportunity to take out Charlie Kirk and I'm going to take it. Prosecutors allege the texts amount to a confession by the defendant in Kirk's killing.
Lance replies, you weren't the one who did it, right? And Tyler says, I am, I'm sorry.
Pictures of the suspected murder weapon were also shown in court, as well as images of bullets and cartridges engraved with different messages.
He had said he was planning to go hunting with his family, and he asked me for if we had a Dremel, because he said he wanted to engrave messages on bullets.
I'm Reed Benyon reporting.
Here's a look at tonight's primetime lineup.
A quick look here, 95 at the James River Bridge. The tail lights moving away from us, 95 northbound, so just heavy, steady traffic there at some points throughout the commute. 95 southbound across the bridge at Maurice Street, and you can see travel lanes are all open. Keeping an eye across the Chaco Valley Bridge, there's a broken down vehicle, 64 westbound, between 360 Mechanicsville Turnpike and the ramps to Interstate 95 north or southbound. You'll see some amber flashing lights there. Also a crash still reported in Richmond along Route 1 and Cortlandt Street. This is south of Bells Road. Mike?
Kristen, we have some sunshine outside now. Going to be a little bit hotter today and still pretty muggy. Scattered storms this afternoon and this evening, and same deal tomorrow, a slightly higher chance. And both today and tomorrow, we could have a few storms that have some damaging wind gusts and some heavy rainfall. 94 today, 90 tomorrow, 85 on Sunday. It will turn less humid Sunday into Monday, but then it turns hot and muggy again going into next week. 90 on Tuesday, 95 Wednesday, 96 Thursday, and probably about 97, 98 on Friday. So we'll probably get back to those feels like temps near above 105 next week.
Gadzooks.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, we're back in about 25 minutes. We'll see you then. Have a great day.